Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro, and today we're looking here at verses 8 and 9 in Psalm 20. We've been looking at Psalm 20 all this week long, and today verses 8 and 9. This will finish out Psalm 20. And then next week, we will move on to Psalm 21. And we're getting close to Psalm 22, which is a powerful psalm about the Messianic hope. And then, of course, the world's favorite psalm, Psalm 23, is coming up in just a couple of weeks. So today, Psalm 20, verses 8 and 9. Let me just remind you before I read the passage, go out to the YouTube channel, The Bible Bistro, and like and subscribe to the channel. That way YouTube is encouraged to share this channel along with all of its content with more and more viewers and listeners so that folks can hear the content about the Psalms. It's important that we study the Psalms because in the Psalms is everything that we have in the Old and New Testament. It is the seedbed really for the theology of both parts of the Bible. So go there and like the Bible Bistro on YouTube. Verses 8 and 9. Let me read those for you. And I'm going to read today, not from my translation, but from the King James. And then I'll make comment from my own translation here. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Save, Lord, let the King hear us when we call. All right, you'll notice again that we're in that first person plural. We will rise up, save or answer us when we call. See how we got that group speak here. And we've started that again there in verse 7. But we in the name of the Lord our God. So in verse 7 we have these in chariots and those in horses. You know, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we. There's that golden adversative there in verse 7, but we in the name of the Lord our God. So here we have in verse 8, they are brought down and fallen, and I have they bow down and fall. So who's the they? Well, the they happens to be the these and the those. So the they, the these, the those folks, the ones who don't trust in the Lord. They're trusting in something, but what is it? Well, they've put their trust in chariots, they've put their trust in horses, and so what are they falling from? Their chariots and their horses. Why? Because the chariot and the horse, it can't save. Now, you say, well, we don't, do a whole lot with chariots and horses today, but you understand the analogy here, right? The chariot is what you trust in that's not the Lord. You think it's strong, you think it's able, you think it's capable, you think it's just the ticket, just the thing that's going to help you with your trouble. But guess what? It's not. Those that trust in chariots and horses, they're going to fall off of them. But those who trust in the name of the Lord, well, now that's different. You see, now we have the we here in verse 8 again. But we. Again, the golden adversative, but they bow down and fall. That's the those and the these, or the these and the those. But we, again, so that's just like what we had there in verse 7. But we in the name of the Lord our God. Here it's, but we, and let me read it from the King James, are risen and stand upright. I like that idea of standing upright. It means to be restored. We will rise up and be restored. So troubles come. Don't forget, verse 1, that's our theme verse here. I'm going to call on the Lord in a day of trouble. The Lord will answer you in a day of trouble. So I'm calling, asking for an answer. He's going to do that work. And I must remember that I'm not calling on Him and then going out and trusting in chariots and horses or whatever it is I might be trusting in besides the Lord. I'm going to trust in Him, period. I will call on Him alone. He's the one that's going to do the work. Everyone who trusts in the chariot and the horse, they're going to fall off, but not those who call on the Lord. We will rise up and be restored. We will stand upright. There's not going to be any falling. There won't be any, dismounting, because we're going to stand up and we're going to be restored. Beautiful language here. And then we have verse 8 or verse 9. Save, Lord. Let the King hear us when we call. Don't you love that? Save. Again, that idea of salvation comes in, just like what we had up there in verse 6. Now I know that the Lord saves his anointed. And I asked the question, I said, well, and there in verse 5 as well, we will lift up praise in your salvation. Why does salvation come in here? Because we have trouble, and we need the Lord to deliver us. So salvation is what we're looking for. It's what we're asking for. And now we come to verse 9, save, Lord, because that's what we want. That's what we need. We need your salvation. Let the King hear us when we call. Yes, the King is seated upon his throne in the holy place. He is interceding for the church. He is receiving our prayers, and he is answering our prayers. Save, Lord. Let the King hear us when we call. Well, God bless you guys. I hope that you have a great weekend, and go to church this weekend and celebrate the wonderful resurrection of Christ. I'll talk to you soon here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.